What has been the main purpose of our investments in data science, such as artificial intelligence, big data, analytics, machine learning? All of these efforts are moving towards something bigger. Intelligence is not just about being the know-it-all. This is the fallacy of the current trend of AI. Well, then what else is intelligence about if it's not about being know-it-all? A big component of intelligence is self-reflection, self-awareness. If we can incorporate self-reflection into our solutions, it is there where we can model knowledge and wisdom. Within scope of knowledge technology contains both reflection and information technology. I'll go through each sector in this diagram. The constituents of reflection are philosophy, psychology, and the real-time feature being consciousness. I'll walk through each. What is philosophy? Philosophy is the contemplation of how we think. Philosophy uncovers what constructs our mindset. I'll uncover the design of the mindset in another video. There are various mindsets that we actually collectively could or do follow, which is where philosophy is motivated and somewhat misunderstood. So I'll cover that complexity in another video. For this video, I'll just talk about how we integrate philosophy into knowledge technology. Have we incorporated philosophy into computing, for example AI? Only within scope of knowledge technology can we integrate it. Similarly, this goes the same with psychology. What is psychology? Psychology is understanding all of the environmental and internal influences on behavior and intelligence. Psychology actually also has been the best science to understand bias and confounding variables in the understanding of intelligence. Have we incorporated psychology into computing? For example, data science? Only within scope of knowledge technology can we integrate it. Similarly goes the same with consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness is the optimization to operate an intelligent system. Its main purpose is to navigate complexity by using heuristics and knowledge in a manner to utilize the least amount of energy to perform tasks. Otherwise, your brain would completely shut down if it were to actually work at full capacity. So it is your consciousness that manages and limits energy usage of your brain and your synapse so that you don't burn out. Of course, we'd like to think there's more to consciousness, but that pretty much is the purpose. It's an optimization engine. Have we incorporated consciousness into computing? For example, digital execution? Only within scope of knowledge technology can we integrate it. There is a direction we are going that is so valuable and impactful to how we think, operate, perform. All of these efforts have been contributing to a knowledge technology which incorporates philosophy, psychology, and consciousness, along with the traditional tools and techniques of information technology. Hence, in the diagram, you see the dichotomy between reflection and information technology, which make up knowledge technology. Let's talk about information technology. Information technology took several decades to unravel. At the start, implementation curves took up to 6 months, even up to a year to implement a single solution. Now in the business enterprise context, it could take several weeks to implement the same batch of requirements. We have elaborated structures of the transistor systems. Look at any solution. They're all the same. Under the covers, they're all client-server based. They have an operating system, they have memory management, they have an ability to run code, which is the logic systems. Most importantly, these transistor systems allow us to persist our information. And we have governing patterns that manage the information technology complexity. An aspect of governance is the self-fulfilling process called agile. Agile is basically a strategy to micromanage everything. Where that takes us, when we micromanage, we become focused on a bottom-up approach, detailing every such angle, formula, and direction. In a sense, that coverage is seemingly complete, but it pins us to a specific mindset, thus stagnating our innovation. It's just my personal opinion that we've stagnated in our innovation in the past decade. And the reason why I feel that is we lack the knowledge because we've stagnated ourselves to a specific reactive rut. Even if we incorporate additive solutions such as machine learning, statistical modeling within the scope of data science, and also automation, why are we not yet at a knowledge state? This is because we've formulated a compulsive reactionary system. If we would like all of these approaches as an umbrella of knowledge technology, we need to proactively allow the system to be aware of itself and aware of the tools at its disposal. That leads us to ask, what is knowledge technology? Knowledge technology is the ability to proactively accomplish goals in the most efficient and optimistic pathway based on reflecting on what tools we have and what structures our systems partake. If we just settled with AI, analytics, machine learning, statistical modeling, we would continually be reactive to information. In isolation, each of these efforts are valuable. If we feed into these bottom-up approaches, we can successfully harvest very specific valuations. The fallacy of these bottom-up techniques, there requires a continual need to feed these solutions in real-time data that is extremely costly. This causes increased support costs with emergent band-aids to fix anomalies as you go to infinity. This is adverse to how our consciousness is constructed, how we operate our mindsets. You see, consciousness is an efficient, optimistic operative to interact with the environment. This is because we've developed heuristic modeling and practical understanding based on several information inputs. Thus, what formulates knowledge? Knowledge technology incorporates the self-reflective operation of consciousness, which incorporates the input from automation structures, machine learning pattern recognition, statistical modeling significance, and intelligent implementations. So how does knowledge technology work? Knowledge technology is self-reflective. Everything that structures a system is able to understand itself. Everything about it is transparent, simple, composite, emergent, all of which are ingredients that enable a self-reflective system. You see, knowledge can only be attained through self-reflection. Therefore, your system needs to be able to reflect upon itself. The system needs to be aware of its limitations, its fallacies, its boundaries. This is where psychology fits. For example, when rendering outcomes of the constituents of intelligence, what is required are those factors that structure the information and data. But it's not just about the data. It's about the knowledge we attain from the emergence of understanding that data. That way, when we interact with knowledge, we can navigate at a high level and easily explore into lower level details without losing context of the scope. This means we can easily move from a macro to a micro level of information, and additionally, we are able to incorporate awareness of the factors, perspectives, mindsets that can look at the same thing in different ways. How is this different from what we have today? Data science and predictive systems today provide a rendering that's specific in context. The shortfall is you can only see the rendering in one way only. If a factor changes, you can't incorporate confounding perspectives in your rendering because it's restrictive. So let's move to the next diagram. This is how to flow through knowledge technology. Based on reflection, through understanding the mindset, through incorporating various factors and perspectives, through awareness of the tools and techniques that make a system, a consultation can input experience to establish strategy. That consultation can input skill to establish design. From that point, new experiences can emerge with the knowledge. Based on new factors and new perspectives, skills can be sharpened. Enhancing the tools and techniques, thus the output is innovation. Through the lens, of course, through knowledge technology. So you need a rendering model that operates based on the intelligence that's structured itself and the information being processed and explored. In other words, the definition and semantics of the information is what drives how that information is rendered. So we'll go through how this works. We'll go through an implementation of knowledge technology and walk through the value of that implementation, and we'll get into how it's constructed. So for this video, this is just a kickoff of knowledge technology and just the driving factors of what it's all about. So I hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day. Thank you.